Hey! Alright y'all, what's going on? It's your boy Snake Eyes. Welcome back to the Snake Eyes Needs a Dollar channel. Alright, before we get started with today's video, I need y'all to do a few things for me as always. Like, comment, subscribe, kick all y'all asses. I just already know I do already. Follow me both my social medias. Twitter, Snake Eyes _ dollar. The dollar's a damn dollar. Instagram, all lowercase, Snake Eyes _ W dollar. Alright? Now, couple things. If I'm a little bit slow on the uptake throughout this video, or I'm like kind of struggling to get through it, I apologize. This video got out really late. I want to quickly apologize. I'm going to spend all day doing this. I want to quickly apologize for what had taken place, I believe, last weekend with the Chiefs thing. I've been dealing with Pinnacle Studio for about like 2 to 3 years now. And so this is my first time dealing with Adobe Premiere Pro. So it's a completely new software. So I'm thinking that, okay, I'm doing is editing the video. I don't really make that deep edits anyway. I'm just good to go. I can just throw out the videos already, right? But it ended up not happening that way. I was really behind. So one, I had to put out the button video, which is out now. I'll have that in the description somewhere so y'all can watch it. It's really funny. You know what I'm saying? If y'all need a laugh, there y'all go, right? And then I had to put the Chiefs video literally. I uploaded that bitch late as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. I uploaded that bitch at like 5, 6 o'clock. So if y'all still interested in looking at that, that's up. I'm probably not going to happen. I'm going to make sure I do my best I can to make sure this video gets out in a timely fashion. I know 50-50 my fault. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I feel like that, when you a new software, you got to learn everything all over again. So it took me 2 hours. Shit was backed up. So I'll just do a better job of making sure stuff is done in an efficient manner moving forward. Okay? So I literally just got finished watching the game 2 hours ago. Just wrote that all in notes, watched some press conferences real quick. Alright, so we're going to get started. So there's a couple things I want to get started with. So first off, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. First and foremost, alright? I know I had a great Thanksgiving. The boy got Mac 24, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was excited about that. The only problem was this shit took like fucking 3 hours to upload. And that low-key pissed me off. Whatever. Moving on from that. Okay? So, yeah. I want to speak about the Sirianni thing when he was, say, I don't want to hear this shit anymore, Chiefs fans. Y'all already know the deal already, right? So he went ahead and he did that after the game when he was going to the tunnel. And then he was saying at his press conference that he's going to beat himself. And then at the end of the day, it's like Chiefs fans were talking shit too. He didn't say it that way. I'm saying it that way, but that's basically paraphrasing it, okay? Couple things, all right? Number one, here's a reality situation. Number one, y'all soft to the motherfucker. Anybody got a problem with Sirianni doing what he's doing, y'all niggas is soft. And especially you Eagles fans, y'all niggas is soft as hell. That's sports. Sports is competition, and football is a contact sport. Obviously, Sirianni ain't on the goddamn field, I get that. But this is a contact sport. It's high emotions, it's high energy. You gotta remember, we lost to this goddamn team in the Super Bowl. So, of course, people say, well, this is a regular season game. It is, but it's a little something extra behind it, too. And it's on prime time on Monday Night Football. So, it's a lot of emotions running through all the players and coaches. They're not going to say everything, but damn it, even a lot of said, like, I don't know how it is everybody else. It's definitely like, I've definitely got some feelings about it. You know what I'm saying? So, and let me tell you something right now. I'm gonna go by the age-old rule that I've been, been drilled into my head since I was young and not even in middle school. My nigga, you want to stop somebody from talking shit? Stop them from winning. Beat them. If you ain't beat them, then you shut the fuck up. But ain't no reason to sit up here and get mad at the winners for talking their shit. They can do what the fuck they want. They won the game, right? So you Eagles fans up there like this is not professional.
Man, shut that soft ass shit up.
Y'all niggas sound like y'all did no slap boxing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't get to no fights at all. Like, y'all niggas sound soft as fuck. Like, I'm being straight up. Like, you niggas never played anything competitive in your life. Because you play anything competitive, when you competed, you understand those feelings or emotions. And here's also another thing, too. About why you have a problem with Sirianni acting when he's acting. Specifically with this incident and then some other incident about him being fired up and shit like that. Sirianni, the way he looks like the way he appears to look. Sometimes we have certain stereotypes that we associate in our head based on how people appear or how they look, right? Or what they look like specifically. So Sirianni, the way he looks like your average white office worker, right? So that's the stereotypes that come into y'all head. And listen, I know it's gonna be controversial to most of y'all, but like end of the day, I'm gonna call shit the way I see it, right? So a lot of people saying, why are people giving the benefit of the doubt to Dan Campbell? If you just look at Dan Campbell, and listen, I don't know the man, and I'm not saying that this is all there is to this person. I'm sure that human beings are multifaceted. Sometimes what a person look like is not exactly how it's the complete opposite of how they actually act. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Somebody may look big as fuck and menacing, and they just probably one of the nicest people in the world, right? So like, or vice versa. Somebody may look soft and they're probably this type of motherfucker that like you gotta like sleep with a revolver under your pillow or some shit. You know what I'm saying? They'll be the most dangerous motherfuckers. The person you think is skinny as hell might be strong as fuck, and you don't know. Like myself, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing a little work out here, and it ain't important. You know what I'm saying? But I don't look like I'm strong because I look skinny as hell, but believe me, I'm much stronger than you think. So you just never judge a book by its cover. So most of y'all are expecting Sirianni, especially the way he talk in these press conferences, right? He's reinforcing the stereotypes that you guys already have in your head. Just the same way that I didn't want to say nothing, but I'm bringing this up. So one of y'all posted because they saw Jalen Hurts talking, the code switching thing that all of us black people like at the end of the day, if you know, you're not going to talk the same way in a professional setting towards professional people. The way you do with your friends is completely different, right? So y'all act like this shit was out of the blue. So one person decided to post up how he acts during press conference. I forgot what they put, and they put like how he acts around his friend. They put Kevin Hart. First off, I thought that shit was like, man, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't say nothing, but I thought that shit was like mad fucking racist. I ain't gonna lie, because number one, I'm not saying that Kevin Hart acts the same way around a professional set, but you just threw up a random black man up there just to say like that shit it didn't even make any sense in the context of what they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? You just decided to throw a random black person on there. And just so happened to be Kevin. That to me, that shit is just like it's some low key racism. I ain't want to say it, but yeah. At the end of the day, when it comes to this, so we look at Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell like a nigga that's like you have to think twice about trying to come up and do something to him, cause he look like he could fuck your ass up. Like he look like the way he talk, his voice, how he look, how he carry himself, his body language and all that. He look like a nigga that's gonna fuck you up, and he look like a player. It's like he look like everything about how he is, towards the media, and I'm sure there's a hell of a lot more than that. Like I said, humans are multifaceted. At the end of the day, how he talks, how he commands the room, how he even looks. He looks like a player's coach, man. He look like those guys that's like get everybody fired up and everything. He get fired up too. So, and he looked like he was a former player. Like everything about how he looked is in some ways, not the entirety of the person, but in some ways represents, how he looks sometimes is almost equivalent to how he behaves. You look at Sirianni, it's like, you don't look at a guy that's like, oh, fired. You don't look at a guy that will be like every now and then talking slang or whatever. Like and then in your mind, because of how he looks, to y'all, it's like he putting on the act or he being fake. So I think some of it is like kind of fucking with like the stereotypes in your head. Like, yeah, Sirianni looks like he worked for corporate or some shit. He don't look like no guy that's like just like get fired up or whatever. So a lot of how Sirianni acts kind of fuck with y'all inherent stereotypes about how he should act based upon how he looks versus just taking the person for what they're showing you. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming from. So some of y'all, it's fuck with the stereotypes you have in your head because of how Sirianni looks versus just taking the person's personality with what exactly they're showing you. So oftentimes, if y'all see somebody that looks like him, you'll be like why this man talking in slang? He being fake. Why he up here getting fired up and talking shit? He don't look like a nigga that's gonna do anything. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these stereotypes that be in y'all head, it's influencing y'all opinion about how Sirianni should or shouldn't act. And I'm here to tell y'all, at the end of the day, Eagles are the best fucking team in football. We showed that against Buffalo. We showed that against the Kansas City Chiefs. Y'all don't like it? Kiss our asses. We don't give a fuck. We don't like us. We the most hated team in the league, and we don't give a shit. As long as we keep whooping the team's asses, that's all that matters. And respect to the GOAT, Patrick Mahomes. But listen, we had to do what we had to do in Arrowhead. You know what I'm saying? But you still my GOAT at the end of the day. Moving on from that. So with the Sirianni shit, I think half of it is the stereotypes. I think the other half is y'all just some soft ass niggas. And they ain't do no slap boxing, you ain't get into no fights, you get into no competition, you never competed in a goddamn thing. You niggas even compete in a goddamn hot dog eating contest. So y'all niggas soft as hell, get over that shit. Winners get to talk their shit. You want to stop a winner from talking their shit, beat them. If not, shut the fuck up. Moving on from that, alright? So Derek Barnett got released. There's been rumors going around Shaquille Leonard that Darius Leonard got released as well.
Dumbass.
Through the waiver wire, nobody signed it, obviously, because of their contracts. So there's a possibility we might bring him into the building, especially with Nakobe Dean being on IR. You feel what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes to that. We don't necessarily need them because we only really played 2 linebackers on the field, plus Hassan Reddick, who's more or less a edge rusher in the 3-4 scheme. So we don't really need Shaquille Leonard, but it would be nice to have him. So Derek Barnett got released. He ended up getting released, and good fucking riddance. The good thing about him is, I wasn't looking for him. I was saying, well, he didn't do nothing. He wasn't supposed to do shit. He's just supposed to stay the hell out the way. And that's what he did. He did his job. Stay the hell out the way. Don't do no offside. Don't do no extra penalties. Don't do no dirty shit after the play. Just stay out of everybody's way. Let the playmakers make the plays. And that's what he did. So appreciate your service. Appreciate you for helping during the Super Bowl run. Whatever the hell that means. Goodbye. Good fucking rips. And that's it. All your ass was good for was getting penalties. You know, your play ain't match up to your attitude and how you like starting shit in training camp, this, that, and the third, and like punching people, like punching your own goddamn teammates. You know what I'm saying? So good riddance to that nigga. Bye. I'm not upset. I'm not crying. I'm celebrating this motherfucker. I want to talk about Hurts with MVP. Okay, a lot of y'all been saying, well, he should be MVP. Here's a reality situation. Number one, there are 3 or 4 guys that have been consistently playing really, really well, elite, from weeks 1 all the way up until, what is it, like, we're 10-1 now, so I say week number 12. So for weeks 1 to 12, Christian McCaffrey been dominating. Just with all due respect to Jalen Hurts, and he's, you know, I thought, we'll get into how I feel about Jalen Hurts later on, but Christian McCaffrey overall is definitely, but you got to put him over Jalen Hurts, right? And you have to put Tyreek Hill over Jalen Hurts. So those 2 guys automatically should be over Jalen Hurts, right? And then, in my honest opinion, C.J. Stroud has entered the MVP conversation. And in my opinion, those 3 guys should be considered over Jalen Hurts. Here's a reality situation with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is lack of numbers sometimes in games is not always entirely to his fault, because we got a new offensive coordinator. We gonna fucking talk about Brian Johnson. That motherfucker is ass. That nigga's ass. Like, don't get me wrong. He called some nice plays here and there to get us this recent dub. But overall, this nigga's garbage. Okay? It's not always his fault. Sometimes it's Brian Johnson's play calling. You know, he don't run the ball enough to have balance. He calls stupid-ass quarterback draws. He doesn't know how to draw up pass plays to get guys open. He doesn't make it a priority. But also, one thing that Jalen Hurts has had a problem with is, especially earlier in this season, I think he's cleaned it up more or less now. Earlier this season, he was missing guys consistently. You know, it would be guys wide open, and he would keep missing them over and over again, and this will be a repeated problem. He's missing Goddard a number of times. He missed A.J. Brown every once in a while. He missed Devontae Smith a number of times. So he's missed guys. Honestly, if you ask me, I think his play started to pick up from our first Washington meeting and up. I think the Patriots game wasn't entirely his fault. I don't think he played as bad as people made it out to be. I didn't really like his performance against Minnesota. I didn't like his performance too much against the Buccaneers. In my honest opinion, the first Washington meeting and up, that's when he started playing like the old Jeff. Because honestly, I was going to seriously question if he fell off or not. So, in my honest opinion, the counting stats and the level of dominance over the entire league does not give, in my opinion. And again, I understand we're riding the high. I understand Jalen Hurts is whooping ass in the clutch. He's the most clutch quarterback we've ever seen in a long-ass time. It's like this man doesn't lose fucking games. It's like giving back Mahomes the ball, or giving Brady the ball, giving Aaron Rodgers the ball. I mean, this nigga he gets the shit done consistently. And he don't fall apart when there's pressure. When there's pressure, he elevates his game. And that's something that not even a handful of quarterbacks can say. So, with all due respect to Jalen Hurts, and I know Eagles fans will be mad at me, this, that, and the third, but if you're not a real fan, I don't give a fuck. I call shit the way I see it, and I'm always honest. I'll tell if a fucking Cowboys player is better than an Eagles player, I'm going to tell you that a Cowboys player is better than an Eagles player. Same thing I will do for a Commanders player or a Giants player. Does that mean I'm allegiance to that team? No, but I'm a... You know, I do these videos to give my honest opinion. So I don't give a fuck about you complain too much, you do this, that, and third. I don't give a fuck about it. You don't like what I say, go watch somebody else. But I'm over here on this channel, the Snake Eyes need the motherfucking dollar channel, and I definitely need more than a dollar. But that's another sidebar conversation. I ain't bitching about that, complaining. We working over here. But bottom line is this. I say what the fuck I want to say on my channel. Y'all niggas cannot censor me. I can censor everybody else. Y'all can say, well, stop complaining. I say what the fuck I want to say, how I want to say it, when I want to say it. So if y'all got a problem with that, that's y'all issue. But bottom line is this. I know niggas going to get their feathers ruffled by what I'm saying, but Hurts is not an MVP. I don't think he's even an MVP candidate. I think he has done some remarkable things. MVP candidate, you know, playing through injury, and not just playing through injury, a serious knee injury, and performing at a high level. I mean, throwing beautiful passes, countless times, showing his ability to read defenses, just making some beautiful plays in the clutch and putting the team on his back. I give him his credit. I give him his respect. He's coming through when we need to. Even Jalen Hurts himself wasn't even that happy. Because Hurts was shaking his head when Elliott kicked that field goal to send us into overtime. Because he was like, you know, his mind, I don't think it was him, you know, hating on Elliott. I think it was like damn, like he's saving our ass type shit. That's the vibe that I got. So at the end of the day, even Hurts himself knows he's not playing at the level he's playing. When I watched the press conference, he said, yo, I'm not playing to the sense, so I got mixed feelings. Everybody like, why you got mixed feelings? It's fucking obvious. He knows he got to play better at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, I love everything that Hurts has done so far. I think he's elite. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in this league. I don't think you have a top 5 list without putting Hurts up there. Everything is accomplished. His leadership, his mentality, his attitude. He doesn't fucking fold. This man steps up to the occasion every fucking time. So don't get me wrong, Hurts does some remarkable shit this season. I'm very, very happy and proud to say he's our quarterback. To say he's MVP over fucking CJ Stroud, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, hell no. But I still respect what he's doing, but I respect what he's doing to know that I'm going to be honest about this shit. I didn't like the way he played against the Buccaneers. I didn't like the way he played against the Minnesota Vikings. I didn't like the way he played against the Rams. I thought he consistently missed guys wide open and took him a while to start, you know, seeing this. Again, not entirely his fault because Brian Johnson is a fucking trash-ass offensive coordinator. We'll talk about him later on, but y'all get my point. So Hurts is not the fucking MVP. I don't care who got a problem when I said what I said. Do something about it. And I don't care if y'all niggas try to do something about it anyway. I don't give a shit. I'm not scared of nobody. But I ain't trying to be on a ton, guys. Just know I say what the fuck I want to say on my channel. We're going to move on with that. Alright? Bet. Moving on. So, Lane Johnson. Let's get into this game. Lane Johnson, you know, last minute, you know, I wasn't able to really watch the video because I was behind doing a lot of shit. But, you know, Lane Johnson was supposed to be playing, but I think he reactivated his groin. So, you know, literally last minute when he was warming up, he felt really sore and couldn't continue. And, listen, I'm okay with, you know, Lane. Obviously, Driscoll, let's put it like this, right? So, obviously, when we seen the first meeting with Driscoll against the Jets, it was very, very mediocre. This time around, we'll have a conversation about that later on. But Driscoll, obviously, is the right backup tackle. And, you know, we have a certain record. We have a pretty substantial losing record when Lane Johnson is not playing. He's the best right tackle of all time. But that we're not to say the here nor there. But at the end of the day, you know, losing him is always a big loss. And he's toughed it out for us on multiple occasions. So it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy that he got his rest and was able to take care of himself and recover. Okay? Quez Watkins came back. I seen bits and pieces. He was not involved in the offense whatsoever. And, you know, I frankly can't blame him. I can't blame them because it's like, yo, if we got shit working over here and doing what we do, which, you know, I don't really know what to say about all that, but we'll have a conversation about that when we get fully into this game, okay? So, yeah, so Driscoll was starting. So let's get into this game. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts' performance, okay? So Jalen Hurts, we'll read his count stats real quick. 18 for 31, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 14 rushes for 65 yards, 2 touchdowns. So for Jalen Hurts, the first half, Very, very bad. He threw an interception because it was just like, what ended up happening was the guy read the run pass option. So he knew exactly who he was going to throw to. So what ended up happening is he tipped the ball, it deflected off of a Bills player, and it got picked off. Right? I'm going to be honest with you. Even though Jalen Hurts' counting stats were very, very bad in the first half, not his best game by a long shot. I wouldn't say it was his worst game ever, but not his best game by a long shot, alright? Second half, he played out of his fucking mind. I mean, 3 touchdowns, 4 really, if you include the rushing touchdown in his second half, like a complete fucking 180. Like he was struggling, but here's the real situation. Here's what I'm going to say. Brian Johnson gets the blame for Jalen Hurts not playing the way he's supposed to be playing. Number one, for Brian Johnson, make me understand this, right? Because I'm thinking like, oh shit, is DeAndre Swift not healthy? You understand it took this motherfucker 11 minutes into the third. It took this nigga 11 minutes and 30 seconds into the third quarter to think that, oh shit, we have DeAndre Swift playing on our team. You understand? I was like, that shit pissed me the fuck. I'm like, yo, are you literally not running the football? It's raining, it's slick outside, and you're not trying to run the fucking football at all? That doesn't make any sense. You're not even trying to involve him in the passing game, like with the little dump offs and shit like that, with the little screens where he makes himself available. He's out there catching the backfield. You don't fucking involve DeAndre Swift in none of that. But it's not even about that. You gotta get fucking DeAndre Swift his carries, man. He's the either best running back in the league or second best. Him and McCaffrey's a foot race. But you gotta give him the fucking football. Alright, DeAndre Swift had a pretty good game too. I believe he had like 80 yards and like 5.7 yards to carry out of like 14, 15 carries. So he actually did pretty good. But gotta give fucking Swift the ball. There's a reason why he's number one. He's the number one running back, right? You're not running with him at all. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It really doesn't. And he showed that he's good. He showed he's a great running back. He's a Pro Bowler. Give him the fucking ball, Mr. Johnson. God damn milk dud head ass nigga. Like, you give him the fucking ball. So that pissed me off. The whole game he was ignoring him the whole time. Like the amount of times he ran, that just pissed me off. It's like 2 games in a row, Brian Johnson was doing good, and then he just slid back. And here's the other thing when I'm looking at these plays. Number one, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's something wrong with my TV, but it was really, really hard to see, especially in the first half, what was going on with these routes. What I can tell you, what I can assume, because I wasn't able to see the routes of what was going on down the field, based on the limited scope of vision on my television. It wasn't that limited, so I don't like no motherfucking 1970s color TV type shit. But from what I could see, which really wasn't much, what I think happened is that nobody was open on multiple occasions. It wasn't like the Chiefs thing where it's like they dominated our offensive line. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really like that. I mean, they got through. But a lot of it happened because there was literally nobody open. So a lot of the pressure got there, not because they were just, we were overwhelmed by it, but it's because there was nobody fucking open. But, Bills did a good job with their defense. I'm not going to take no credit away from them for that. But also, when you run bad passing plays and you're overdoing it. And here's the real situation with Brian Johnson. You're running fucking RPOs and you're not running the ball. The whole purpose of an RPO is that the threat of a run is imminent. There's no threat of a run if you're not running the fucking football. I thought Kenneth Gainwell ran pretty well. There was a moment, I don't know if it was the second or third quarter, I think it was the second quarter, where they were running an RPO. And Hurts was trying to give him the football, but Hurts, I don't think, saw what the fuck Gainwell was doing. And Gainwell didn't do a good job of making sure. Because I was trying to find, like, who the hell's fault was it? And I just think that Hurts should have made sure that Gainwell actually got the football. And if he didn't, he should have just kept it. For Gainwell, if you're going to take the ball, you got to make sure you have the football. Or you're, like, looking a little bit. I understand you have to pay attention to what's in front of you. But you have to make sure that you put in your hand position. So, really, I kind of blame a little bit of both Hurts and Gainwell for the fumble. I blame Hurts for literally, not paying attention that Gainwell's actually not looking at you and not even putting his arms the right way. So I'm keeping that bitch. And I blame Gainwell for not being able to put himself in a position where he actually can grab the ball. Other than that, I was okay with Gainwell. I thought he has a pretty couple good runs. I love the way Boston Scott run. Like, like I said, if he has to start for a game, I ain't tripping about none of that shit. Like game was nice. You know what I'm saying? So I was impressed with Boston Scott. I was impressed with Gainwell. I was impressed with the other. And then it's so fucking funny how 11 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter. He gets the running. And you know what happens that, I think it was like the second drive of the third quarter? You know what happens? The offense opens up. Whoop de fucking do it. I didn't know, I didn't know that if you run the football, it can help open up your offense. That shit's new information to me. I didn't know that. All you had to do is give out the ball to your fucking Pro Bowl starting running back, and you know offense will be easier to run. I didn't know that shit. like goddamn, I guess you learn something every day. But I don't know. But that was bullshit. Brian Johnson, Mr. Johnson, that was bullshit. And he did some other bullshit where stop running fucking screen passes to Julio Jones. I keep telling everybody he's a deep threat receiver. He's not a guy that's going to outrun everybody, especially not a guy that's past his prime. What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I don't understand. If it didn't work against the Chiefs, why the fuck would you keep that in the offense? It doesn't make sense. It really is fucking dumb. So a lot of what Jalen Hurts' struggle was like there was nobody open. It wasn't really that the Bills were doing anything special, even though the Bills, I'm not taking away any credit from their defense. They did pretty good. But I think that the lack of options, sometimes the lack of, routes that are easy for Hurts to just kind of just dump it off. Like maybe Swift getting involved in the passing because Swift wasn't even on the fucking field the majority of the time. That's what killed me. It's not even the fact that the running is, I'd say, about 80% of my concern. The 20% is like, where the fuck? Why is Swift not even in the game? Why do you have Gainwell or Boston Scott? And it's cool, and they can get their carries. That's fine. But in the critical moments or when times you can't have those guys on the field more than Swift. It doesn't make any sense. So that really pissed me off. So honestly, I blame often more or less what Jalen Hurts' struggles. I blame it. Now Hurts did damn near throw an interception to Micah Hyde. In I think the fourth quarter, he damn near almost threw an interception, right? It would have been like a long ass punt, but still, it still was a bad one. And I think a couple of times he missed. So sometimes what happens when the pressure's always in your face, and you get frustrated because the offense ain't moving. He did a couple times miss running backs that were sitting for checkdowns that he should have just dumped the ball off. But yeah, at the end of the day, I thought Hurts did what he could. I understand people go, Hurts play hard, but no, I legitimately think there was nobody open. And so, at times you're going to try to force shit down the field sometimes, but honestly, there was no one open. And it was just a lot of bad play calling. And it really pisses me off because we legitimately have the best offensive roster ever assembled in NFL history. We really do. You argue with your mom, but don't argue with me. We got the best offensive roster put together, period, bar none. Like the amount of depth. We got the best O-line of all time. Arguably the best wide receiver duo of all time. I think Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are pretty competitive, in that race. So I ain't gonna count them out just yet, but I'm gonna stick with my favorite wide receiver, Slim Reaper, who whooped ass. I think the man had finally got over the 100-yard mark because he been trying to. AJ Brown was joking about, he said something about Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith was like, hey, but it was a reference about, him not always teetering on the 100-yard mark, but never getting. He's always sitting at 99. Finally got over 100 yards, got a nice, huge touchdown. I think was an X factor, in my honest opinion, the MVP of the offense because when we needed him the most, he came through. Now, Hurts, again, played out of his mind the second half. But I really feel like that Devontae Smith consistently from first to the fourth quarter really, really helped move our offense down the field. You understand where I'm coming from? So, shout out to the Slim Reaper, my favorite wide receiver, showing y'all motherfuckers that he is a top 10 receiver in the league, whether y'all like it or not. So, y'all kiss ass on that. All right, A.J. Brown damn near fumbled on that fourth quarter. He damn near fumbled on that fourth quarter. It was an incomplete. He got lucky he didn't take enough steps because he could have got ugly. But I thought A.J. Brown took advantage of opportunities when it was given to him. He caught a touchdown. So I think he had 5 receptions for 37 yards. Zacchaeus. And what really killed me about Eagles post-game, a lot of people talking shit about Zacchaeus, especially Reuben Frank, the former U.S. Congressman Reuben Frank. So the first thing that kind of killed was like, oh, well, Zacchaeus hasn't really been doing anything. He's not getting the ball, you fat motherfucker. Are you stupid? Are you dumb? He's not getting the fucking ball. If he's getting no targets, you can't judge him. What the fuck are we talking about here? If he's not getting the football and he's not even an instrumental part of the offense, how the fuck can you judge him? You can't. He doesn't get the ball. Ain't like he's getting opportunities and he's dropping his shits. He's not getting the fucking ball. Ruben Frankfurter, like, what the fuck? Like, bro, you saying dumbass shit. And then he said some other dumbass shit where that nigga be hating hard as fuck against Barrett Brooks, bro. Like, I'm starting to think that nigga might be like a low-key racist or some shit. Because every time Barrett Brooks got something to say, and that nigga always chiming in. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, Barrett Brooks thought of something that, you know, maybe I think he, and you know, given the benefit of the doubt just a little bit, I think Barrett Brooks was kind of, I think he was overreacted a little bit because I don't think that was even the biggest problem with our offense. I think that was the furthest thing from it. But here's the thing. So he got mad at times when Driscoll was in and they didn't give him any help. So he was, you know, he had a call. He wanted to get that out. And Ruben Frey was like, calm down. It's over. Shut the fuck up and let that nigga speak his opinion. Shut up. I think that nigga might be low-key racist or some shit because every time this nigga got something to say, and even when they had some validity to it, he always trying to shut him up. No, let him shut him up. And he always trying to interrupt motherfuckers like, shut your fat ass up, nigga. Only thing we need you to, bro. At the end of the day, if ain't no hot dogs or no plate of food being passed around, shut the fuck up and wait for your turn to talk, my nigga. Like, there's no reason for you to be interrupting everybody when they talking. Like, shut the hell up, bro. I hate this nigga. I hate Rupert Frank. Nigga always interrupting motherfuckers. Shut up. Like let the niggas let everybody get their thoughts off. Stop nigga was even interrupting the goddamn host, which the host be saying some wild dumb shit, but like, yo, let him get it. He's the mediator of the show. He's the host. Let that nigga run his fucking show. At some point in time, the host just talked over that nigga. Which I was applauding. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, like nigga, shut that nigga up, bro. Like, listen, go act like, go pass around some food. Act like you about to give it to him. Don't do that. Like, y'all just. The cameraman behind the back just started eating that motherfucker. I promise you, he gonna get his attention. Whatever, that ain't coming out. It's late. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? But moving on with that. Another thing that pissed me off. This is kind of me repeating myself somewhat, but it's like you're trying to run RPOs, and I'm like, okay. I seen a headline from a Joey Chicks video. I wasn't able to watch it, but it's like they're gonna start doing more RPOs. I'm like, why the fuck are you doing that if you're not even running the football? Our purpose of an RPO is that the running is a threat. If the running is not a threat, then there's no reason to do that. You know what I'm saying? This one I will give Brian Johnson the benefit of the doubt. Not really, but a little bit. He called some pretty damn good plays. I think the fake screen was pretty good. You know, he drew up some good plays to get those touchdowns. But at the end of the day, overall, you cannot consistently call bad plays over and over again and expect to win football games. And this is what kind of pisses me off about Sirianni and how this organization works. This organization works by like, okay, if we're winning, then that's all that matters. You can't really think that way, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like you gotta think of everything long term, right? So if long term I'm barely getting by, this should be always a thing in your head. Even when Jalen Hurts is on that wave, there's always this thing in your head that yeah, we won, but you know, if you're not performing to where you're supposed to be while you're winning, you know you maybe get away with it right now, but the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen in the playoffs when you have to actually play in a game? You can't get away with just barely squeaking by. You have to win football games. And it's not, you have to win football games playing the right way. You can't keep turning the ball over and think that, you know, we're going to figure out a way to come back. No, so you have to play great football. You have to learn how to play great football from the 15-minute mark from the first quarter all the way to the 0 mark at the end of the fourth quarter. You got to play 60 minutes of full football. You can't just play, oh, I'm going to play like shit for 30 minutes and then the next 30 minutes I'm going to play great. No, oh, I'm going to play like shit, 45 minutes and then the last 15 minutes I'm going to play great. No, you got to be able to play great 60 minutes. But just because you're winning and squeaking by now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing everything right. It doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot improve or make adjustments, or you shouldn't be looking to start doing different shit and start improving on problems you have now, so that when you get to the point where you there's really little to no room for error in the playoffs, that shit will be already be cleaned up. But you can't operate the man, well, if we're winning, that's all. No, it doesn't. That's not all that fucking matters. All right. And it's funny because they was up there. You know, I understand why they're doing this. He's on the team. It is what it is. Jalen Hurts known as dude since he was a kid. So he has to show loyalty. So he was like, you know, he was basically saying in one of his press conferences that Brian Johnson, they was asking about, you know, him being subjected to criticism, and then Sirianni was like, he's doing a pretty great job, and he's like, well, he's only like about a decimal of a point off, and that shit don't matter to me. But basically, they was coping for the guy, and Jalen Hurts was like, he's controlling the things that he could control, which is absolute complete bullshit. I thought the last couple games he played pretty good, outside of like the stupid ass quarterback draws a third down and his stupid ass screen passes to dumbass screen passes, cop out plays, and then just the dumb. They don't need to be throwing fucking screen passes to Julio. Alright, so moving on with that. So Brian Johnson gets a D. I'm giving that nigga a D. Pause. Give him a D. I'm not gonna give him an F. I'm gonna give him a D because he made plays when he was supposed to. I give him like a 65 out of 100. Not even that. Like I give him like a 60. But whatever with that. All right. The shout to Alabama as a kid for making that catch and coming through, man. He just solidified his spot as a wide receiver 3, if you ask me. I saw this guy named 83, and I don't know who the fuck he was. I did see Albert O playing, but he didn't get no targets. And again, nobody was open, so I don't really blame Hurts for a lot of this shit. But yeah, man, Hurts dominated, man. Game-winning rushing touchdown. Offense struggled, but yo, excuse me, when Hurts needed to come through, they came through. Swift gave the team a spark. Devontae Swift from first to the fourth quarter was the most consistent player on the football field, so hats off to those guys, all right? So number 97 for the Bills. They're trying to do some dirty shit. I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, so he's already offsides. He jumped offside. They got called for the flag already came up. Neutral zone infraction. You know this nigga came through the line anyway. Tried to run over. He did run over Jurgens and try to push him right into Jalen Hurts. If you don't say that, if that don't sound suspect to you, I don't know what the fuck is. That nigga did that shit on purpose. They was trying to do some other shit. They was trying to punk Jurgens. And shout out to Jurgens for fighting. That nigga was fighting back. Let that nigga know, like, hey, listen, you ain't bullying shit over here. Shout out to Cam Jurgens for standing his motherfucking ground. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yes. I was proud. Man, I'm like, yo, we did the right thing choosing him as a Philadelphia. Ain't no soft motherfuckers on our team. Speaking of soft motherfuckers, it's about Josh Allen. This nigga was always bitching for a call. Now, granted, could you have called a sign ready for that horse collar? Yeah, but I think Reddick was just trying to find a way to get him down. I don't think it was nothing dirty. I think he's like, yo, he was slipping, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna get him down. I don't think it was like no Roy Williams type shit. You know what I'm saying? I think it was, and I don't think Roy Williams was this dirty play. I think he was just taking advantage of the rules. But you know, it just turned out that when you do horse collars, what you're really doing is a fucked up injury. It's a fucked up thing because all your weight on your back leg is going out, and that's how you get like terrible ACLs and some really, really bad leg injuries. Because you really can't save yourself. So you know he got called for that, and then like that nigga Josh, I was just looking for fucking calls. He was just looking for calls. Hey, man, the fuck up. Also, what killed me too is that they called two bullshit. One of them, one false start, I guess you could call it on Kelsey. The second false start for Jason Kelsey was not a fucking false start. That was complete bullshit. I ain't gonna lie. That was crap. So he left the game. Hopefully he's all good. He gonna be good to go against the 49ers. But that was a little scary that he left and went to the tunnel. But hopefully he all good. You know what I'm saying? So I want to start officially with deep. So yeah, like Josh Allen, that nigga soft as hell. That nigga was just looking for calls. I thought you was this big ass shit talking nigga that could just run everybody over and shit. Like I thought you was the mobile Brett Favre type shit. But yeah, that nigga was just looking for calls, man. Just play the game, bro. That nigga was Josh Allen soft as hell. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. All right, Josh Sweat, he did what he could. Jalen Carter made some huge plays down the stretch. Had a little bit of an injury scare, but he came back like a G and he handled the business. Jordan Davis played with so much fucking heart. And nigga took over overtime like it was nothing. Shout out to Jordan Davis, man. Hopefully he just got tired and he should be good to go against the 49ers because I was a little scared when he would get up, but hopefully he just ran out of gas. Fletcher Cox ended up having a groin injury, so hopefully he's back against the 49ers. If not, you know, we're going to miss him, obviously, but There's definitely gonna be guys on this team that's gonna step up for sure. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks that Fletcher Cox was taken out the game like that. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Graham, BG made a big play. You know, it's funny because BG made a big play against the Dallas Cowboys, and I forgot to mention that because he stopped a 2-point conversion. He ran Dak Prescott out, made him step out of bounds. So I fucked up by not, mentioning his name, but I mentioned his name. Now, shout out to BG. By the way, congratulations to BG for passing David Akers for the most games played as a Philadelphia Eagle. The 14-year vet, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been consistent, man. He one of the best stories ever. Man had a Achilles injury that wiped anybody out, and he came back. And only he came back, bro. Man had I think 5 sacks. He either had 5 sacks or he entered double digits. But either way, for him to be playing the way he was playing last year, and also he stepped up and made some big plays, and he does just more shit versus just this. He does a lot more for our team just what the stat sheet says. You know what I'm saying? He's a leader. He's a vocal leader. He's a really good trash talker. So, and it was really nice to see BG make a big play in the 4th quarter. And shout out to Brandon Graham for breaking the record, David Akers' record, and definitely going to be Eagles Hall of Famer. And at the end of the day, for Brandon Graham, whether or not he makes the actual Hall of Fame or not, Brandon Graham has nothing to hold his head about. He stepped up. He made great plays. He was very instrumental in us winning our first Super Bowl against the Patriots. Got the Brady sack. And at the end of the day, man, BG is, you don't say Philadelphia Eagles without mentioning his name. He's definitely been an instrumental part of this journey for a long period of time. So shout out to Brandon Graham, man. Nothing to hold his head down when all is said and done. Whether or not he makes the Hall of Fame or doesn't, he can talk his shit. He has every right to. You know what I'm saying? He's always available. He overcame an Achilles injury, which most people at his age in his 30s would completely wipe him out. But he came in, he stepped up, he played big. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want. Cunningham got injured. He actually, made some plays here and there. I feel like that the defense definitely, when he was out that whole second half, the defense definitely missed a beat without him in that lineup. So yeah, Zach Cunningham, hopefully it ain't gonna be nothing long term. Hopefully he'll be back by the 49ers. If not, something that he'll be back at least by the next Dallas game. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Zach Cunningham. Unfortunately, he was taken out the game, but I do think his absence definitely had an impact on his defense. But Christian Ellis made a couple plays here and there. He wasn't as consistent as what the Eagles post-game live people was talking about, but he did make one really good play where he read, I forgot if he read a runner or RPO, something like that, but there was a run blitz and he completely read it and he made a huge play. Shout out to Christian Ellis. He played pretty good. He fucked up a couple times, but it was minuscule. But overall, Ellis carried something pretty big. I missed out on Driscoll. So Driscoll, he fucked up on a couple plays in the beginning, maybe here and there every once in a while. But I ain't gonna lie, Driscoll held his own. And he was guarding Von Miller most of the time. Von Miller, you already know that. He a bona fide Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? Who's not even fully healthy, but either way, he a bona fide Hall of Famer. And he stepped up. He actually did a pretty good job. He held his own. I ain't gonna lie. I can't really talk. We need another right tackle in this draft coming up, but make no mistake about it, Driscoll held his own, and that's all you can really ask for. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, especially not that first play or that first drive for that matter. But at the end of the day, he cleaned it up enough where he was serviceable, and that's really all you can ask for. So shout out to Jack Driscoll. Sirianni and Jalen Hurts both gave him his credit, and he deserves it. He held his own. That's pretty much it. So yeah, we're gonna move up with that. Morrow got beat in coverage. I think he got beat by Cooks in the first quarter. And then, Cooks dropped the goddamn ball. We did a really good job of shutting down the run in the first half, but the second half, they was running all over. So we did a good job shutting it down. I gotta give credit to Sai, because one thing about the Sai is when you got a star player, he keys in on him and make sure he don't get shit. Stephon Diggs made a couple plays here and there, but overall, I think we did a pretty good job of neutralizing him and, really not making him as to dominate the game. You know what I'm saying? Again, he made some plays, but I feel like we did a good job keeping him in check. Shout out to the side. He always, every time we got a matchup, he succeeds. So I think the running attack for the Bills got better in the second half. I'm trying to see what some other shit that we need to have a conversation about. So first off, shout out to Josh Allen. I know I called his ass soft, and he was. I called shit the way I see it. I'm sorry, but yeah, I really like the way Josh Allen was playing, man. At the end of the day, he threw that interception to. Let's talk about the secondary right now, and we'll have a conversation about Josh Allen. missing that. So Slade finally got his tackling up. He was tackling really bad the last couple games. He picked it up. So Slade did his job. He did get away with a PI on Diggs, but I think they got away with a PI on us. So it is what it is. Blankenship made some tackles here and there, but I wasn't completely sold on how he was playing. I didn't think he played that great. I thought he played okay, like barely okay, like manageable. You know what I'm saying? City Brown, thank God he was not in coverage, because I told you that nigga, his coverage is awful. Like, he could not play corner for shit. Ricks was in on a couple plays. Roby made a couple plays here and there. Reddick did pretty good. And I want to say, shout out to Bradbury, because Bradbury was not perfect. I don't want y'all to get it fucked. He was not perfect. He made some mistakes, but he had his best game of the season against the Bills, and he stepped up a big play. He forced the ball. This is a really well thrown ball. He forced the ball out. It was really low on Diggs. He caught an interception that changed the game, and he made some pretty good plays in coverage. So I got to give credit to Bradbury. Came into play. Again, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he came to play. I enjoyed watching James Bradbury, but he was definitely one of the bright spots against the Buffalo Bills for sure. So shout out to Bradbury. He played really, really good. Okay, so Sean Desai, I thought he was put in some bad situations because the offense was turning the ball over and the offense wasn't doing much. And I think it's a lot to ask for one coordinator to carry the whole team on his back. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he also was perfect in his play call. I thought that he failed to blitz at times, and I didn't always like his play call. I felt like that sometimes he got guys way too back. It was a third down where he should have played man to man, and they backed into a zone. I didn't understand that. And some got times where he only rushed 4 or 5. He did a better job in the second half of blitzing a little bit more, but overall, I'm going to give Sean Desai a C+, but a tentative. I'm going to say maybe like a 70. I'm going to give him like a 74, which is like really a C. I'm going to give him a C. I'm going to give him like a 74 out of 100. I don't think everything was 100% his fault, but I do think that he could have called some better plays to put his guys in position to stop Josh Allen. So Kevin Byard, I want to have a conversation about him. Overall, he had a good game against the Chiefs, but I'm gonna keep it. If you want me to be honest with you, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's absence, regardless if you like the way he, his trash talking sometimes, regardless if you like how he unfairly called out the fans. Some of you fans can be a pain in the ass, but I think you gotta give better respect to the fan. You can't disrespect a whole fan base like that. You know what I'm saying? Because your frustration with social media. And what a lot of people may sell to me, but a lot of those people don't account for the entirety of Eagles fans. Okay, so here's the thing. So Kevin Byard, I'm not impressed with him. I really think that Chauncey Gardner. Again, I don't blame Howie. Howie did what he could. We had to pay Jalen Hurts. We didn't know that Jalen Hurts was going to take a team-friendly deal. So Howie did what he could to try to balance the cap. I don't think him trying to dump $17 million in the third year was a great option. But Howie's going to try to do what Howie's going to try to do for the good of this franchise and to keep everything balanced and not get hurt in the salary cap. He's made some mistakes in the past, but he's definitely learned from them, and I think he's done it. Best GM of all fucking time, like period. I don't know about other sports, but I'll say in football, best GM of all time, like in the discussion, past, present, period. And he's doing this shit with a salary cap. You know what I'm saying? So it makes a big difference. But here's the thing. Byard is just like, he's not good enough in coverage, man. It's just like, it's bad. Like, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, when you move him to the nickel spot, he hoop. Like, Byard is just like, okay, he makes some good tackles here and there. He's a veteran, but he don't do enough for me. I'm going to keep it real with you. He too damn mediocre. And it's like, I get a bit for the doubt. Like, my nigga, you like the 4th game in, and you not showing nothing of what you showed in the Tennessee all them years. Like, nothing. Like, you showing that you a regular ass player. We didn't bring your ass over to be a regular ass player. Now, granted, we traded you for a 6th-round pick, but believe when I tell you, we did not expect you. He's a barely regular ass player. I'm gonna keep it real with you. He's mid as fuck. Like, I really wish we should have done more for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson getting this. I wish we should have offered him a better deal. I understand how he did what he did. Not the best deal, kind of fucked up in a little bit of ways, but how he did what he had to do to make sure the salary cap. You can't blame him. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, we should have fucking kept Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. This team misses a heartbeat when he not on there. So I don't like what he said about the fans. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand why he went somewhere else versus taking that deal. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I really, really wish Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was here. His presence is sorely missed. That's for damn sure. Okay. Here's what I don't like too. So Stephon Diggs, a couple before this episode, Stephon Diggs was arguing with the refs, and the refs blew out his head. He looked at his arm like he was about to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it happens. You know, you're a human being at the end of the day. But one of the offensive players pulled him back. What pissed me off was this shit right here, bro. Like, why the fuck did Stephon Diggs not get penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct? He can't fucking sit over on our bench. Now, get it. I understand why Philadelphia Eagles didn't go and do something about it because we don't need a big-ass penalty for no fucking reason. We got to be smarter than that. But you got to penalize. He can't sit on our bench. So, at the end of the day, I like Stephon Diggs. And maybe I'm just bitching because at the end of the day, it's like it's our team. It's I'm an Eagles fan, whatever the case may be. But that was complete bullshit. Allowing Stephon Diggs to sit on our bench. That's unsportsmanlike conduct. He's holding the progress of the game. Like, bro, you can't allow him to get away with this shit. You gotta penalize him for that shit. He can't just sit up there and sit. Now, it may be funny to some of y'all, whatever the case may be, but the real situation is, it's like, yo, you gotta keep it fair across the board. You can't sit up there like be like the deal. Like, I don't know what the fuck y'all got going up going on in y'all little circle, whatever, where y'all be deciding to fire people and shit. I ain't calling people to get their money taken away from them, but like, yo, with the refs, you gotta call the shit. You can't sit over on our bench. You can't do that. And he halting progress of the game. You gotta call that shit. Kicker for the Buffalo was awful, and I think he contributed to a lot of missed points. He was awful. Shout out to Jalen Carter, by the way, for blocking the field goal, cause he actually ended up almost getting an interception off a spiked ball. This man is just so. Not only is he just athletic and freakish athlete, he's gifted. Like, his intelligence is just through the fuck. But this guy, he's so smart. Like if you look at it, like, laugh about him trying to set the face. It just shows you how fucking smart he is. Like, he is so cerebral. It's dangerous when you got the athletic and physical gifts, but when you compare that with intelligence, Carter's a smart ass dude, bro. He's very smart. But shout out to Carter, had a hell of a game. That block field goal, hell yeah. Like, yo, a hell of a game for Carter once again. I know I said this earlier. I need to reinforce it again. All right. Another thing that also pissed me off too, and especially happened in the second half. We missed opportunities for sacks. We got to bring down the quarterback. You got three guys surrounding Josh Allen. You got to bring him the fuck down. You know, I think a lot of times completions were made and big plays were made, especially to Gabe Davis, because we didn't capitalize on us. We didn't capitalize on sack opportunities. We gotta sack the quarter. You got 3-4 guys in the air. You gotta make those sacks. So that kind of pissed me off. Also, Byers kind of struggled against Kincaid a little bit, who's a rookie. But he did good against Travis. I don't know, but like I'm not sold on Byers. I think it's going to end up being like a missed trade like Robert Quinn. It is what it's going to be. All right. Talk about the 49ers real quick because we gotta go. Okay. We can beat this team. We have to do what we did last year, and that means the 49ers are going to come in with a lot of emotion this upcoming Sunday. They're coming with a lot of emotion. We got to utilize that shit against them. Okay. I don't know who Funk is going to play because I heard he got injured. But they'll come with a lot of emotion. They're going to play dirty. They're going to talk a lot of shit. We got to utilize their emotions against them to get them to play bad. Brock Purdy, I think he's overhated. I actually think he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. I think he's a very, very good quarterback. You can say what you want to say about the weapons and shit like that, but like nobody just step in there as the last pick in the draft and go and play the way the fuck he's playing. And plays better. Oh, my fault.
Okay.
My fault, y'all. Okay. So I'm all fucked up here. And Brock Purdy plays better than Garoppolo. He plays better than the guy that was already in the system already. So, it says a lot right then and there. Here's the real situation though. Brock Purdy has shown, and he showed this season when Debo was out, Because he still had weapons. He still had Christian McCaffrey, who was still dealing with an injury, but he was still out there. He still performing well. He had Kittle. He had Brandon Ayuk. He could have did something. And he struggled. Can't blame him with Minnesota because he was dealing with concussion symptoms. So I'll give him a pass on that. But we saw the real Purdy. Purdy can be beat. Dallas Cowboys gave us the blueprint in the playoffs. Purdy is a beatable quarterback. He's still elite. I think he's top 10 in my opinion. But he's a beatable quarterback. They're going to come in with a lot of emotion. They're going to come in talking shit. They're going to get chippy. Trent Williams is going to try to do some extra shit. Maybe Debo. Maybe that Travarius Ward. They're going to try to they're going to try to do some crazy shit. We got to utilize their emotions against them just like we did last year. And I promise you, we're going to win. That's going to be a little bit hard because you got to guard fucking Chase Young and goddamn Nick Bosa. So I'm hoping that Lane Johnson's come back for that game. Because I don't trust Driscoll against. I don't know if he can be lined up against Nick Bosa or Chase Young, whatever the case may be. They both elite. They both are Pro Bowlers. And I don't know what if I fuck y'all niggas said that Chase Young is washed. Y'all clearly don't know what the fuck y'all say. Y'all clearly don't watch football. Y'all watch highlights and shit like that. Because y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about at all. The Chase Young is still elite. And I still think he got about 4 or 5 Pro Bowl appearances left in him at the very least. So y'all tripping about that. Y'all completely on bullshit. But yeah. And obviously Fred Warner is the best linebacker in football. He's coming in healthy. Yeah, so we gonna have our hands. Again, this team ain't gonna be easy. But we just went through fucking wars. We went through a whole gauntlet. Cowboys talking they shit. Got their ass beat. In Lincoln Financial Field. Beat the Chiefs. Tough one. Beat the Bills. Even tougher one. We can win this game. It's winnable, but we gotta stay focused and we gotta utilize their emotions against them, and I think we're gonna be fine, alright? That's all I gotta say. Brother got big trees, but I'm a big bank. Make sure to go follow me down below in the description, okay? I'm sorry I'm talking too fast. I'm just trying to hurry up and get it over because it's already late, okay? I don't know why I'm saying okay. Stop saying okay, okay? Okay. Enjoy the rest of y'all work week. I'll make sure I have this video out in an efficient manner. Obviously, the next video should be against the 49ers. Alright? I'm out of here. Peace. We 10-1 and we clinched the playoff berth. Now it's time to grab that #1 seed. Clinch that first round bye. We out of here. Love y'all. Peace. Hey!